Have you ever felt like people treat you differently as you get older? Maybe you've noticed friends drifting away, family members growing less patient, or even strangers seeming less friendly than they once were. It's frustrating, even painful to feel pushed aside, especially when you know you still have so much to offer. But what if I told you that some of this might not just be about them, but about you too? In this video, we're diving into 6 subtle habits that can make people start resenting you after 70, and how to turn them around. Stick with me until the end, because understanding these 6 things could transform how people see you, how they connect with you, and how much love and respect you receive as you age. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment. Number 1. If you don't like it, comment. Number 0, let me know so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Number 1, becoming too negative about everything. One of the quickest, yet often unintentional ways to distance yourself from others is by slipping into a pattern of relentless negativity. Life is undeniably challenging, and by the time you've reached your 70s or even earlier, you've likely encountered a wide array of difficulties: declining health, financial uncertainties, strained relationships, unmet expectations from family, or frustrations with a rapidly changing society. These struggles are, said, real, valid, and significant. They shape who you are and how you see the world, but when every interaction you have transforms into a platform for airing grievances or cataloging everything that's gone wrong, it begins to wear on those around you. People don't just hear your complaints, they feel them over time. This constant stream of pessimism doesn't just stay contained within you. It spills over and impacts everyone in your orbit, subtly shifting how they perceive your company. Imagine this scenario: every time you visit your children or grandchildren, the conversation veers into a litany of how terrible the world has become. Perhaps it's the state of politics, the cost of living, or the decline of manners, or maybe when you catch up with a friend, the discussion inevitably turns into argument about how much you dislike modern technology, noisy neighbors, or the weather. While these topics might resonate with your own experiences, they can inadvertently cast a shadow over the interaction. People start to associate spending time with you with emotional heaviness rather than warmth or connection. It's not that they doubt the truth of what you're saying or dismiss your right to feel that way. It's that the unrelenting focus on what's wrong leaves them feeling drained instead of inspired. Eventually, they might start finding excuses to shorten visits or delay returning calls, not because they don't love you, but because they dread the emotional toll of leaving the conversation feeling worse than when they started. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect or forcing yourself into an unnatural state. Cheerfulness. No one expects you to top-plaster a fake smile over genuine frustrations. Life's hardships deserve to be acknowledged, but there's a delicate balance to strike. If negativity becomes your default lens, it can overshadow those good moments and alienate the very people you want to stay close to. Think about your own experiences. How do you feel after spending time with someone who only highlights problems, be it their aches and pains, the latest news horror, or endless critiques of others' chances? You leave that encounter feeling depleted, maybe even dreading the next one. The same principle applies to how others perceive you. People are naturally drawn to those who, even amidst life's messiness, can offer a glimmer of light. Whether that's humor, insight, or simple appreciation for something small. So how can you shift this dynamic without betraying your authentic self? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to the tone and content of your conversations. If you catch yourself launching into a complaint right off the bat, say about the traffic on the way over, or the latest bill that shocked, you pause for a moment, ask yourself, is this the energy I want to bring into this space? Is this how I want others to remember this interaction? You don't have to suppress your feelings, but try weaving in something lighter to balance the scales. Share a funny observation from your day, like the quirky thing your neighbor's dog did, or mention an interesting tidbit you heard, like a fact about a local landmark, even a small compliment. You've got a great eye for decorating. This place can shift the mood. These don't erase the tough stuff, but they create a more inviting atmosphere. The goal isn't to become someone you're not. It's to ensure your interactions leave room for connection rather than exhaustion. People don't pull away because they don't care about you. They pull away because they're protecting their emotional energy by being mindful of the balance between venting and uplifting. You can foster conversations that leave both you and others feeling enriched rather than depleted. A little intentionality can transform how people experience your presence, ensuring they walk away eager for the next chat rather than relieved. It's over if you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable. Please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 2, giving unwanted advice or criticize ISM. As you age, you accumulate a wealth of hard-earned wisdom by your 70s, or even well before. You've witnessed decades of life's ups and downs, economic booms and busts, shifting cultural norms, and countless personal triumphs and missteps. You've seen people stumble into the same traps you once did, or perhaps avoided, and you've learned valuable lessons along the way about money, relationships, health, or simply how to navigate a complicated world. It's only natural to want to share that knowledge, especially with those you care about, like your children, grandchildren, or close friends. You might hope to spare them pain or help them succeed where you struggled. But here's where the challenge arises when your insights come uninvited. They often land not as helpful guidance, but as unwelcome judgment. No matter how well-meaning your intentions, this dynamic is especially pronounced with younger family members. Picture your adult child managing their finances in a way you see as short-sighted, or your grandchild raising their kids with methods you find baffling, maybe too lenient or overly reliant on screens. Your instinct might be to step in with a firm, "You should be saving more," or "In my day, we didn't let kids stare at tablets all day." You're trying to protect them, to pass down what you've learned, but to them it can feel like you're questioning their competence or dismissing their choices rather than trusting them to figure it out. Even if your advice is spot on, the delivery matters. Unsolicited input often carry an unspoken message. "I don't think you're doing this right." That sting can build resentment over time. It's not just family where this happens. Friendships can feel the strain too. Maybe you notice a friend indulging in unhealthy habits, like eating fast food too often or spending money recklessly on things you deem frivolous. You might say, "You really ought to cook more at home. It's better for you." Or, "Why waste cash on that when you could save it in your mind?" You're being supportive, offering a nudge toward a better path. but to them it might sound like a lecture, an implication that they're failing at life no one enjoys, feeling like they're under a microscope, even if the critique comes from a place of love over time. If every chat with you feels like a subtle or not so subtle correction session, people might start dodging those interactions altogether. They'll associate you with discomfort rather than camaraderie. So what's the alternative? The key is restraint, than respect for their autonomy, as tempting as it is to dispense your wisdom freely. Hold back, unless it's explicitly requested. If your daughter doesn't ask for parenting tips or assume she's navigating at her way, if your friend doesn't seek your budgeting advice, trust they'll reach out. If they need it, waiting for an invitation doesn't diminish your value. It shows confidence in their ability to ask when they're ready. And when they do ask, they'll be far more receptive, because they've opened the door themselves. That said, there's room to share your perspective thoughtfully. The Darcy is to offer rather than impose. Adopt a simple habit. Ask permission before advising. Instead of declaring you shouldn't spend so much on takeout, try, I've picked up a few tricks for saving money over the years. Would you like to hear them? If they say yes, you've got a green light to share. If they say no, respect it and move on. It's a subtle shift, but it transforms the exchange from a potential confrontation into a collaborative moment. You might also weave your insight into stories. Rather than directives, say, I remember when I used to overspend and cutting back changed everything for me, and leave it. There they can take it or leave it without feeling cornered. The bottom line is this: people don't reject advice because they don't value your experience. They reject it when it feels like judgment in disguise by respecting their independence and timing your input. Carefully you position yourself as air source, not a critic. That way, when they do turn to you, it's because they trust your voice, not because they feel obligated to endure it. A little tact can keep your relationship strong and your wisdom welcome. Number 3. Refusing to adapt to change. The world is in a constant state of flux. It always has been and it always will be. Seasons shift, societies evolve, technologies advance, and cultural norms transform. Yet one of the most significant missteps people tend to make as they age is digging in their heels against this inevitable tide of change rather than learning to flow with it. It's a relatable impulse after decades of life you've built a foundation of traditions, values, and routines that feel familiar and comforting, like a well-worn pair of shoes. But when those things start to fade or shift, replaced by new ways of living that feel foreign or even threatening, it's tempting to cling to them. The past. The problem is when you refuse to adapt, you don't just isolate yourself from the world as it is, you also make it harder for others to connect with you. What could be a bridge of understanding, ending becomes a wall of frustration. This resistance manifests in countless, everyday scenarios. Imagine a younger person excitedly sharing a new hobby like creating short videos online only for you to cut in with things were so much better when people just talked face to face. Or perhaps you scoff at smartphones and social media, calling them frivolous, even though they've become the primary way people stay in touch, share their lives, and organize their days. Maybe you roll your eyes at shifting social norms like gender-neutral pronouns or casual workplace attire, dismissing them as nonsense, instead of trying to understand why they matter to others. It's not that you're wrong to have your preferences or nostalgia. It's that constantly pushing back against the present can make conversations with you feel like a lecture or a battle rather than a mutual exchange. Over time, people, especially younger generations, might start to see you as out of touch, rigid, or even judgmental, which can quietly erode the enjoyment of spending time with you. Take technology as a concrete example. He's learning to navigate a new app decipher. Text abbreviations or troubleshoot a glitchy device can be maddening, especially if you didn't grow up with it. But when you outright refuse to engage, you inadvertently create barriers your grandkids might prefer. Texting over long phone calls because it fits their busy schedules. Your friends might organize a group outing via messaging app or a social media event page rather than a chain of voicemails. If you insist on sticking solely to the old ways, demanding phone calls or handwritten letters, you're not just opting out of convenience. You're making it harder for others to include you naturally in their lives. The result, you might feel left out or forgotten, not realizing that the gap widened because of your resistance. It's not about surrendering your identity to every new trend. It's about meeting people halfway. So what's the alternative? Embrace openness, not blind acceptance, but a willingness to explore and adapt. You don't have to become a TikTok influencer, abandon your love for vinyl records, but showing curiosity can transform your relationships instead of shutting down a discussion with, "That's ridiculous. I'll never understand it." Try responding with, "That's interesting. How does it work? Tell me more." This small shift signals that you're engaged, approachable, and willing to learn. Even if you don't adopt the change yourself, the payoff is significant. Staying adaptable keeps your mind sharp, your conversations lively, and your connections with others across generations vibrant and meaningful. People don't expect you to love every new development, but they do value it when you're receptive rather than dismissive. Now let's pivot to a behavior that can quietly breed resentment in relationships, expecting too much without giving back. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 4, expecting too much from others without giving back. Relationships, whether with family, friends, or even casual acquaintances, thrive on balance, a give and take that makes both sides feel valued. But one of the most common traps people fall into as they age is leaning too heavily on others without reciprocating. Often intentionally, it's easy to slip into this pattern. Life might feel harder as mobility decreases, responsibility, shift, or loneliness creeps in, and you start to on those around you. More than you realize, the trouble comes when this reliance turns into an expectation that others should always be there for you, without considering what you're offering in return. Over time, this imbalance doesn't just strain relationships, it can push people away entirely, leaving you wondering why they've grown distant. This dynamic plays out in subtle but telling ways. Perhaps you expect your adult children to call you every week, drive over to visit on weekends, or run errands, like picking up groceries, but you rarely express gratitude or ask about their own hectic lives. Maybe you lean on a friend for hours of emotional support, venting about health, woes, or frustrations, but seldom pause to inquire how they're holding up. Or perhaps you assume your younger relative should drop everything to fix your computer or mow your lawn, simply because that's what family does, without acknowledging their obligations or stresses. People are often happy to help when they feel appreciated, but when every interaction starts to feel like a one-sided demand, it shifts from a willing act of care to a draining duty. That's when resentment festers quietly, at first, then noticeably, as phone calls dwindle, visits shorten, and invitations dry up. It's not that you should never ask for support. Aging can bring real challenges, physical, emotional, or logistical, that make leaning on others necessary at times. But relationships aren't a one-way street. No matter your age or circumstances, you still have something to contribute, even if it's not what it once was: a heartfelt thank you, a thoughtful question about someone's day, or a small gesture like sending a card can carry surprising weight. These acts don't require much effort, but they signal that you see the relationship as mutual, not transactional. For example, if your grandson spends an hour teaching you to use a new phone, a simple follow-up text like, "I'm still figuring it out, but thanks for your patience," shows you value his time. That small effort can make him feel good about helping rather than obligated to keep doing it. So how do you shift this? Habits start with self-awareness. Reflect on your recent interactions. Are you mostly receiving time, help, attention, without giving back in some form? If so, look for ways to contribute, even modestly. It could be as simple as remembering a birthday with a call, sharing a funny memory to lighten someone's day, or listening attentively when they need to vent. The goal isn't to match every favor with an equal one. It's to show you're invested in their relationship, not just what it provides you. The bottom line: people want to support you when they feel respected and appreciated, not taken for granted. Little reciprocity, however small, keeps connections warm and genuine. If this resonates with you, drop number 4 in the comments to let me know you're following along. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button and turn on notifications. Your support fuels more content like this. Now let's explore another pitfall: living too much in the past. Number 5, bringing up the past. Too often memories are treasures, snapshots of joy, struggle, and growth that shape who we are. They connect us to lost loved ones, pivotal moments, and the versions of ourselves we've outgrown. But as we age, there's a risk of getting encored in those memories, that they overshadow the present, turning a strength into a stumbling block. One of the biggest mistakes people make is letting the past dominate their conversations and outlook, to the point where others feel disconnected from the person standing in front of them today. It's an easy habit to fall into. Recalling the good old days can feel comforting, especially when the present seems chaotic or unfamiliar. But when every chat loops back to decades-old stories or wistful comparisons, it can make people, young and old alike, feel like they're talking to a time capsule rather than a living, evolving person. Picture this: teenager shares excitement about a new video game, only for you to counter with, "When I was your age, we played outside all day, no screens needed." Or a friend mentions our recent trip, and you pivot to a tale about a vacation you took 30 years ago, told for the each time. It's not that these stories lack value. Many are rich with wisdom or humor, but when they're the default, they can drown out the chance for fresh connection. For younger people, it might feel like their lives don't measure up because they didn't experience your era's hardships or simplicities. For a peers, it can turn talks into a rerun, real, predictable, and stale. Over time, this habit signals that you're more comfortable reminiscing than engaging with the here and now, which can leave others hesitant to share their own stories or invite you into their current world. How do you break this cycle? It's about balance, not erasure. You don't need to bury your past. It's part of you. But pair it with presence. If a memory surfaces, share it briefly, then toss the ball back. That reminds me of a camping trip I took in 85 crazy weather. What about you? Any fun trips lately? This keeps the exchange dynamic. Or if you catch yourself retelling a familiar tale, pause and ask yourself, does this add to the moment? Or am I just filling space better? Yet seek out new experiences, small ones, like trying a new cafe or asking someone about their day to weave into your narrative. The bottom line this past should enrich conversations, not eclipse them. People crave connection with who you are now, not just who you were by blending yesterday with today. You keep relationships vibrant and relevant. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content, inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 6, not respecting boundaries in personal space. As we move through life, our relationships with family, friends, neighbors shift in shape and texture. What doesn't change, though, is a universal need for personal space and autonomy, no matter how old we get. Yet one of the most overlooked mistakes people make as they age is assuming their status, be it as an elder, a parent, or a longtime friend, grants them unlimited access to others, time, energy, or privacy. It's rarely malicious. Often it stems from habit or a longing to stay close, but when you overstep boundaries, physical or emotional, you risk turning affection into tension, prompting people to pull back in ways that can feel like rejection if you don't spot the pattern. This shows up in all sorts of ways. Maybe you call your kids daily and get upset. They don't pick up right away, not considering their work or family demands. Perhaps you swing by a friend's house unannounced, expecting a warm welcome when they mid-project or just craving solitude. Or you might pry into personal matters, asking a niece about her dating life or a son about his finances, assuming your role gives you a pass, when they'd rather keep it private. People rarely voice their discomfort directly. Instead, they distance themselves. Fewer calls returned, shorter visits, updates. You might chalk it up to them being too busy, but often it's a quiet defense of their space. Emotional boundaries matter too. If you habitually offload your work wires, health scares, loneliness, regrets onto the same person without checking if they're up for it, they might start dodging you. Everyone carries their load. And while sharing is healthy, monopolizing someone's emotional bandwidth can wear them thin. So what's the fix? Mindfulness and respect. Before reaching out, ask, am I honoring their time, and limits if someone declines a visit or sets a boundary, like I'd rather not discuss that. Accept it gracefully, not as a person. Slight small adjustments, like texting to confirm a call or visit, show you value their autonomy. The bottom line, relationships flourish when boundaries are mutual, respecting others. Space, physical and emotional, keeps them eager to stay close, not obliged to. That's it for today's video. Folks, getting older doesn't have to mean losing the people you care about, and now you've got the tools to keep those connections strong. I'd love to hear from you. What have you learned so far? Drop a comment below with one thing that stood out to you and how you plan to put it into practice in your life. Your thoughts inspire us and others. If you like this video, please leave your comment below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content to inform and uplift you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.